afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, how are you?
Fine, thank you. Go on.
Yes.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah.
I swear by the Almighty Allah
I swear by the Almighty Allah
that the evidence I shall give to this commission
that the evidence that I shall give to this commission
shall be the truth,
shall be the truth,
the whole truth,
the whole truth,
and nothing but the truth.
and nothing but the truth.
So help me Allah.
So help me Allah.
Thank you, sir. You can wait for foreign speaking.
Could you kindly state your name for the records?
My name's Musa Bittaye.
Where do you live, Mr. Bittaye?
I live at Kotu.
You're a legal practitioner?
I am.
Could you kindly sit down?
Thank you.
Mr. Bittaye, you were summoned to assist the Commission in connection to the recovery of $3 million alleged to have been transferred on the instructions of Captain Ibu Jallo sometime in 1995. According to the testimony before this commission, you were Attorney General at some point after 1995.
That is correct. And to be precise, I was appointed Attorney General and Minister of Justice on the 15th of January 1996.
All right. How long did you serve?
I was relieved of my position on the 23rd of April 1996.
During the course of your tenure as Attorney General, did you have cause to deal with this issue of Captain Ibu Jallo?
Yes. I believe sometime in April 1996, the then chairman of the Armed Forces Provisional Ruling Council asked me on the phone to see him at State House in Banjul. I did so, and he told me that they were having a problem with Captain Jallo, who had withdrawn some amount of money from government funds in an account in Geneva, Switzerland. And he asked my advice as to what steps could be taken. I advised that perhaps I should go to Geneva, find out what had happened, and perhaps do something about it. He agreed with my advice, and I went to Geneva accompanied by a protocol officer, Mr. Jobata, I believe. Before leaving for Geneva, we had made contacts with the Gambian consul in Geneva, and he had made arrangements for me to appear before a judge, which I did. I explained the situation to the judge, and he asked for some evidence showing that Captain Jallo could not have come by those funds in any legitimate manner, or at least from his legitimate earnings. As a result, I contacted the Central Bank and the Ministry of Defense, and I got the necessary documents, and with those documents I could convince the court to block what was left in the account. It might, I can't recall it properly, it might have been $1.3 million or 1.7 million. That was done, and I had the difficulty of tracing the money Captain Jallo had taken from the account because of some legal complications which needed expert legal representation. So I advised myself that I should come back to the Gambia and brief the then chairman, which I did. And my hope was that I would go back with permission to engage a local Swiss lawyer for the purposes of tracing Captain Jallo's account, in which we believe he had siphoned either 1.3 or 1.7 million dollars. Unfortunately, shortly after my return to the Gambia, I was relieved of my duties. So, from that moment onwards, that is the 23rd of April 1996, I knew nothing more of what happened to those funds.
In respect of the account that was blocked, do you know whether anything happened to the monies in that account eventually?
No, I always wondered, but I assumed that those who took over from me would have pursued the matter in Geneva. It's just an assumption, but I don't know.
Yeah. Who took over from you?
Mrs. Hawasise Sabali, who at the time was my Solicitor General.
All right. You said you contacted, as for the record, who was the chairman of the Armed Forces Provisional Ruling Council?
That's the ex-president Yahya AJJ Jammeh.
So, you dealt with him at all material times on this matter?
Oh yes, as I said, he initiated it. He called me for advice, and all was verbal. There was nothing in writing.
Who was at the central bank at the time that you dealt with?
The governor was one Clark Bajo, who has now passed away.
You mentioned the Ministry of Defense. How were they involved?
Well, I thought that the point that the judge wanted was proof that, as I said, Captain Jallo could in no way have come by those funds legitimately. So I contacted the Ministry of Defense from Geneva, and they sent me his application to become a member of the armed forces, and some evidence that he had not been working before, and his salary up to that point. And I think that was one of the factors that the judge took into consideration to block the account.
Do you recollect at which bank this account was?
No, I can't. I can't recollect the bank offhand.
Who was the consul in Geneva?
I don't know his name, but he was an Egyptian, a rather wealthy person.
And you indicated that the account was a government account.
Oh yes, I did. That it was government money. I got that information from the, excuse me, from the central bank.
It was government money, or it was a government account?
No, it was government money, and I think the account was also in the name of government, because the money was sent from the central bank in the Gambia to that account in Geneva.
Okay.
And I presented, there was documentary proof of that.
Counsel, the destination account, was that also in the name of the government or in the name of an individual?
To the best of my recollection, it was in the name of government, not an individual. The way matters were, the government had to give you a power of attorney. I was given a power of attorney to show that I was representing government. And I believe Captain Jallo was also given a power of attorney to open that account on behalf of government. To the best of my recollection, I think that was the case.
Thank you.
Do you recollect whether you had a file on this matter at the Ministry of Justice?
Wow. As I said,
It's a long time.
you know, shortly after my return, I was relieved of my services.
Okay.
So I do not recollect, but no, I cannot say. This is over 20 years now.
Yes. All right. Thank you, Mr. Bittaye. We're grateful for your assistance. We don't have any further questions.
Do you recollect the purpose of the account in Switzerland? The question is, what was the government of the Gambia then doing with a bank account in Switzerland?
No, I don't know. I did not ask what was the purpose of opening the account in Switzerland. But I think the central bank might be helpful with the transfer records. They would show exactly the purpose of the transfer to that particular account.
It's still not clear. Captain Ibu Jallo was a signatory to the account at Central Bank. Captain Ibu Jallo was allowed to open an account in Switzerland in the name of the government. Captain Ibu Jallo transferred money from the Central Bank to an account he was authorized to open.
Sorry, I think that last bit, I cannot vouch for that.
No, what I said.
That Captain Ibu Jallo was a signatory to an account in the Central Bank
of the Gambia.
No, I did not say that.
No, we know that. There was a testimony saying that.
I see.
Yes.
I was not aware of that.
Yeah, I'm coming to the one where I want you to vouch.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, the first part, he opened the account in Switzerland, or he was authorized, but he transferred money from an account to which he is signatory, and it went to a destination account that belonged to the government. So it was a transfer from a government account to a government account. So what was the government of the Gambia defending in terms of legality? A signatory requested for a transfer from where he is a signatory. I just want to be clear. Where was the risk? Transfer money from one government account to another account. So where's the illegality bit, please?
I'm afraid I don't understand the question. From one government account, I assume you mean by that the central bank account?
Yes.
And the other government account is the
Swiss bank.
Swiss
Yes.
account.
Yes.
Where is the legality?
Yes. He was the signatory.
To both accounts?
Well, to one I know. To the second one, I don't know. To the Swiss bank account, I'm assuming he's not a signatory there?
No,
I'm just trying to understand. I myself am lost.
I see.
Yes.
No, he must have been a signatory to the account in Geneva. Otherwise, he could not have accessed the account. What he did was to withdraw from that account. You know, since, as you said, he was a signatory to the account in Geneva,
And
he withdrew from that account when he was not authorized to do so.
okay.
And actually, I think the picture is fuller.
Sorry?
The picture is more complete. When when, as a matter of fact, he actually absconded after withdrawing from the Swiss account.
Okay.
He absconded.
Do you understand the picture? Okay. So it's the withdrawal at the other end that was illegal, not the transfer from
Not the
here to the
transfer.
other.
Not the transfer.
Okay.
It was the withdrawal at the other end
Yes, for personal use.
for personal use and absconding,
Okay.
not coming back to the country.
I get it now.
Yeah.
Thank you. Ansel, just for accuracy, the testimonies we had before were alluding to the illegal transfer of $3 million. Are we wrong? Or I shouldn't say illegal, unauthorized transfer of 300. He was the signatory, the sole signatory.
Yes, the witness indicated that he authorized the transfer of $3 million to an account in Switzerland. And then subsequently the government, the chairman of the APR, the Provisional Ruling Council at the time, said it was unauthorized. That's the picture
So he did it without consultation.
Yes, he did it without consultation.
Thank you.
Is that all for this witness?
Just one general question. Mr. Bittaye, is there anything useful or that you can tell this commission about this thing that I haven't asked that might be helpful to the commission? Anything that you recollect?
Well, in connection with this 3 million,
Yes.
well, I gave an advice, it was accepted, and I followed it through. But I couldn't take any further steps after that, because, as I said, shortly after my return, I was relieved of my position.
Okay.
And I never knew anything more about whether the money was retrieved, what happened to the part of it that I had blocked, etc.
Do you recollect at the time what Captain Ibujalo, what position he had in the government apart from being a captain in the army? Do you recollect his position?
No, yes, he was a member of council. You know, you had cabinet and you had council.
Yes.
I was also a member of council and cabinet.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. I'm grateful.
Thank you.
Sorry, Mr. Bittaye, who else, just for the record, who else was a member of council at the time?
Yes, the chairperson, myself, Captain Edward Singate, Captain Yankuba Toure, and the Secretary General then was ex officio and a clerk, a young lady, I can't recollect her name.
Okay. So only three of them were, and Captain Ibujalo.
Yes, and Captain Ibujalo, yes.
Very well. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You may leave. Thank you.
Thank you.
I call Mr. Ibrahim Njai.